Hello and welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashimi. I've got a friend and a brother on the show this lovely Friday morning that will be doing sports together by name Oku David. Oku David, welcome to 360 Sports. It's been a while.
Not talking to you, Emmanuel.
You will.
Yeah, good morning. How's it going?
Fine, we thank God, and Nigerian sports has been doing well. Over the course of the show, we will get there, and it was a good news for us. No matter how, at least we'll pick the World Championship ticket right there at the Moshood Abiola.
It's my pleasure to be here.
All right, okay, let's go straight to the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, where it was the final day of the African Under-17 Girls Volleyball Championship, where we played Egypt in the final. And back-to-back, we lost to Egypt back-to-back. Our first game, we lost to Egypt. Our second game, being in the final, we lost to Egypt. 3-1, it ended right there at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium here in the city of Abuja. And it's a good outing for the girls. They lost their first game to Egypt, and then they were able to beat Cameroon twice in the group stages, and then in the semi-final. And then they now lost to Egypt again in the final, 3-1. I think the final was better off because in the first game against the Egyptian, we lost 3-0, but in the final it was 3-1. The Egyptian won the first set, it was 25-21. The second set we won 20-25. The third set was 25-22, and then the last set 25-21, and the girls actually gave a very good fight, because if you look at the points margin from the third set and the last quarter, it was not that far apart. That means they really showed resilience, seeing that they would try to actually beat the Egyptian, but the firepower of the Egyptians was just too much for our under-17 volleyball team.
Yeah, like you put it, in the end, the firepower too much. But the good thing is that it was hugely competitive. Good one for the neutrals. We took some sets. The Egyptians took more. Probably on another day we could have won. I think this is the beauty of sports, you know, win, lose, maybe a draw. Together, it's a teamwork. But we're happy they've registered wins against Cameroon in the same competition. But yes, they could not cross that final hurdle, which was win against the Egyptians, but it's okay. One thing you look at sports development is the mental fortitude. It's not every time you win the overall prize, but how you have been able to, you know, navigate your way through to the final will be pleasing for the organizers, pleasing for your home people, and they can see where they can improve for next time.
Okay, now if you look at the whole scenario, we were able to pick the Under-17 World Volleyball Championship that will be coming up next year. Now, going from there, you agree with me that the Nigerian Volleyball Federation has been doing tremendously well ever since Engineer Musa Nimrod came on board in that federation. I think that federation has been very viable. So what are our expectations going forward from now?
Since we've picked the ticket, the expectation is that we can get games in between, which will build us up to the competition proper, so that we appear there, you know, ready to take on the world. We appear there ready to compete and compete at the highest level. Like you said, the organizing body is doing well. I don't follow the volleyball too much, but since you said it, I trust your judgment. And the judgment is you can only reflect on the result. And the result here is that they've been doing well, winning some games, competing favorably well with the biggest sides on the continent. So it's a good one for them. We look forward to the Under-17 World Championship, for which they have qualified for, which we are happy about.
Okay, we are actually happy about for the Nigerian Under-17 volleyball team. That's girls, precisely where they pick the World Championship ticket for next year, alongside the Egyptians, who beat them in the final of the African Volleyball Under-17 Girls Championship right there at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium. It ended 3-1 in favor of the Egyptians, and both countries will be representing Africa at the World Championship come next year. All right, let's leave that story and quickly go straight talk about the round leader game. But this time around, we're going to be talking about individual abilities, individual honors, individual brilliance from the African players. And now it was a good news also because we dominated. This time around, we dominated the CAF award, mostly for for the women's category. But for the men's category, yes, we have one man who is leading the charge, and that is Victor Osimhen. After the 10-man list, which was released and was streamlined to just 3, and we have Victor Osimhen alongside Hakimi and Mo Salah of Egypt. Now, the CAF Player of the Year award for men. We'll still go to that of the women. Now, Victor Osimhen made the last 3. We know the last person that won it, Sadio Mane, couldn't make the last 3, didn't make the cut. Now, we have Hakimi, we have Osimhen, we have Mo Salah. Now, Oku David, what is Victor Osimhen's chances of winning it? Because the last player that won it for Nigeria was Kanu Nwankwo in 1999 alongside Victor Ikpeba.
Well, his chances are huge. Victor Osimhen in the last year with Napoli has been nothing short of sensational. He's single-handedly, yes, I would say single-handedly, though I know it's a teamwork and, you know, everything comes together. But when you look at the goals he scored en route to Napoli, winning their title, the first one in over 3 decades, you have to give him credit. I don't think any player came close to Victor Osimhen. And then winning some of the other awards, you know, small awards. Just recently, he bagged an award in Italy, which was the best player for the year in 2023. So I think when you look at those alongside him, Mo Salah, Achraf Hakimi, I believe CAF made it easier for Victor Osimhen to win the competition by the final shortlist. You know, yes, Hakimi did well, you know, at the World Cup with Morocco, and then
Getting
PSG.
to the semi-finals.
Getting to the semis, then with PSG also did well, played a tremendous game. Mo Salah had a season to forget with Liverpool. Overall, individually, he did well, but Liverpool as a team didn't do well. So we look at it side by side, and you see Osimhen is heads and shoulders above other, you know, contestants to win this award. I'll give it to Osimhen, not just because I am patriotic and I am a Nigerian, but looking at what Osimhen has been able to achieve over the course of the year, I think he deserves it. Okay,
you think he deserves it. Now, let's look at side by side Achraf Hakimi, who did so well with Morocco in the World Cup. And we know when normally it's a World Cup year, these are they use the World Cup somehow to judge, but individually, let's now take Osimhen out, individual play last season, individual achievement awards last season between Achraf Hakimi and Mo Salah, who stands better between the two of them?
Hakimi and Mo Salah. I think Hakimi a little bit there. But if you look at that Moroccan side, there were other players that were brilliant. You know, Hakim Ziyech was brilliant, Amrabat was brilliant, Yassine Bono,
their
goalkeeper was brilliant too. I think he's missing on one of the lists, and I was surprised he's missing. So I think if you put that side by side, Hakimi and Salah, they'll be struggling for the third and second position. This award is Osimhen's.
Okay, this award is Osimhen's own. Now, let's go over to the women's category. Asisat Oshoala is gunning for a record 6th one, becoming the first woman player to win it 1, 2, 3, 4, as in back to back. Now, she's gunning for the 6th title.
6th and counting for Asisat Oshoala.
Okay, do you think she's going to win it? Because we have Gatlana, we have Brenda there, we have Barbara Brenda of Zambia there. So Gatlana of South Africa, who plays in the United States of America. Now, looking at those two players with Asisat Oshoala, do you think Asisat Oshoala can win a record 6th woman player of the year?
Of course she can. Asisat can win it. I believe she will win it because of the season with Barcelona and then her exploits at the World Cup. Yes, some people say, yeah, she didn't perform too well, but yeah, she still managed to score a goal. She was influential, you know, led Nigeria to the round of 16, for which they fell to England on penalties, brutally on penalties.
So painful.
You know, yeah, so painful. And then you compare her side by side with other players. Yeah, Banda has been a one-horse woman. That's a one-woman riot, Barbara Banda. Well, with Zambia, she didn't play particularly too well at the World Cup. They were overwhelmed. Yeah, obviously, their first appearance at the World Cup. And then you look at her performance, you know, with the club sides, not compared to Asisat Oshoala. Let's talk about the other Letembi Kadlana too. Good with South Africa. They got into the next round of the competition. But in the previous year was when they won the WAFCON, you know, Tembi Kadlana. That was 2022. So I don't think it counts for this year, 2023. So if you look at the three, you'd have to give it to Asisat. Asisat, for me, is the overwhelming favorite to win this award, and it's 6th and counting, in quotes. Ababola, She has to win it.
Okay, she has to win it. Now, looking at the whole award generally, we'll still get to the other side of it in the course of the evening show. But now, we dominated Nigerians in the women's category. We dominated that award. Oshola, we have Chiamaka Nadozie there. We have the Young Player of the Year, Abiodun, who is also vying for that award in the Young Player of the Year award for women category. It now looks as if in the year 2023, our women stands far ahead of.
Yes, of course. Sports in recent times has been dominated by the women in Nigeria, and that is a call to the organizing body to, reconsider the equal pay for which the ladies are clamoring for. Pay them something commensurate to their efforts, in a calendar year where in award ceremonies like this, the women's category, it's Nigeria, and just one for the men. What do you make of that? It means you need to develop more there, grassroots-wise. It means you need to fund more. It means you need to increase their pay. There was this talk about pay during the World Cup, and he left, right, and center. But that needs to stop. We need to begin to, consider that women are a force to reckon with when it comes to sports, and they are delivering. Not they are below, but they are delivering. So you pay them something substantial. Give them something, I say again, commensurate to their efforts. That's all we are paying.
Okay, now let's look at the goalkeeping for the women. Chiamaka Nadozie is there to at least to wrestle that award. We have this other goalkeeper from Cameroon, but she plays with the Bayelsa Queens of Nigeria. She made the final three of the best goalkeeper in the continent. For Chiamaka Nadozie, I think if you look at the other two goalkeepers, do you think she can also win that award? Yeah,
Chiamaka is favorite to win that award. Chiamaka was good at the World Cup game against Canada. Pulled off strings of saves. Game against Australia was fantastic in the final. Game against Republic of Ireland was superb too. She was great in her club side in the Champions League exploits, knocking off Arsenal. Was it Arsenal? Yeah, knocking off Arsenal, knocking off the other team, pulling off saves here in penalties, dominating, and she's a goalkeeper that when you look at, there is confidence. It takes us back to the time when we had, Vincent Enyama in the Super Eagles.
I think Chiamaka Nadozie should be drafted in
No. It will sound a little bit disrespectful to the Eagles, so let's not go there. But I'm just, reminiscing the time when we had a safe hand and a goalkeeper where you can look up to and say, okay, even if we falter, he can pull off saves to win off the game. That's what Chiamaka gives to the Super Falcons.
Just like Precious Day of those days alongside Mexi Akide. Okay, now let me take you on this quickly. Your top three for the men, arrange in that order. Your top three for the, if you have because it's going to go by voting. Now your top three, who you like first, second, and third?
Okay, my top three, during awards, the strikers tend to usually come first for me because they are the ones who score the goals and make things happen. I'll go for Osimhen, Salah, and Hakimi. Okay. In that order.
In that order, Osimhen, Salah, and Hakimi. Let's see if that order will actually happen when the event comes off on the 11th, just a few days away from now, right there in Marrakech. That is where the winners will be announced for the men, for the women. Let's see who wins the Women's Footballer of the Year for Africa and the Men's Footballer of the Year for Africa. We'll have two Nigerians there. We'll have Asisa Toshola for the ladies, and then we'll have Victor Osimhen for the guys, which we'll know. And probably we are looking at it seriously that Nigeria is going to scoop this award this time around, because the last time we tested that was in 1999. Now another victor is going there. Okay, let's leave that. Let's leave the CAF Awards, and quickly, it's a series that we're taking on the program. We're looking at Nigerian sports in the year 2023. The year is gradually winding down. This is the last month of the year, December 2023, and we'll be looking at the highs and lows of Nigeria. Now we're going to look at a particular lows or in the year 2023 for Nigerian sports, where two Nigerians particularly were in the athletics world were sanctioned by the Athletics Integrity Unit for doping. That is Grace Nwokocha and Divine Oduduru. We know that Blessing Okpagbare is already serving her 10-year ban, and by the time she returns, she'll be 30-something, I think 34 years of age. But now, this time, this time around, before we get there, let's quickly look at this, because the stories are side by side. Nigeria may be punished for failure to comply with the anti-doping code. I don't know. The minister coming in, he made mention, though the office has been built, the committee has been set up. Now, today is the deadline for not meeting with complying with the anti-doping code. And what is that? Failure to implement WADA code, and when it was read out at the UNESCO Convention Against Doping over a decade. It's over a decade now. Nigeria has not really signed that into law. And then failure to set up an independent anti-doping organization, which they've done, but yet they've not. That body has not been recognized by WADA. And then failure to set up anti-doping laboratory, which is under construction. I believe maybe by now, because the minister said they are going to at least hurry up the work so that news coming in also is that letter has been sent to WADA, but today is the last day for all of this to happen.
Well, a huge sigh there, because the anyhowness in the organizing body of sports in the country is something you do not want to continue to talk over and over and over again. Sometimes it's like a lone voice in the wilderness. We need to begin to look at things from an angle where we do things right. But from where I stand, it's not the case at the moment. You know, yes, you're talking about the minister which has come in. I think it's about 6 months now they've come in. Is it 6 months or, or 5 months they've come in? But this compliance with the anti-doping code or whatever, it must have been there for a while now.
Over a decade.
Over a decade now. So the guys that have been in there, what have they done to try and make this happen? What have they done to try and ensure that there is compliance with anti-doping? The anyhowness in Nigeria has gotten to an all-time low where anybody can do anything they want. People can behave in the manner they want. People can submit things anytime that they want. And it's not good for us, but it's a reflection of what our athletes are facing now because of, you know, the serious dereliction of duty by some people in a particular organization. It's unfair to the athletes, it's unfair to Nigerians, it's unfair to sport lovers, and we know this is money. So from where I sit now, I don't know. It's a difficult situation for us because it's looking bleak.
Is actually looking bleak. Though news coming in also is that they've sent letter. Let's see if actually WADA will at least will go back on that and honor the letter and look at what it is. But to tell you the truth, I think the anti-doping agency for Nigeria has been set up. The laboratory is under construction. I think maybe by now they must have completed it all at the stage of completion and what have you. The minister actually hit the ground running. Those are one of the things he actually he said he was going to tackle when he came into the office. Let's see how that goes. By 12 midnight today, we will know where Nigeria will be standing, because if we are actually sanctioned, that means funds will not be coming in from WADA, and then we might not have our athletes at the Paris 2024 Olympics. That is the implication. But we hope it will not get there. Still on this same story, but now is a series, like I said from the onset, that we have been looking at on the show, looking at reviewing Nigerian sports in the year 2023, this year under review. Now, part of the lows for us, because we have our highs and we have our lows in this year, but part of the low that we're going to look at on the show today is where Divine Oduduru and Grace Nwokocha were sanctioned by the Athletics Integrity Unit for doping offenses. And for Grace Nwokocha, because of her sanction, we lost our gold medal that we won at the Commonwealth Games in the 4x100 meter relay race for women. Now, looking at the whole scenario, who is to be blamed?
Well, it's accountability now we are talking about. Who is to be blamed? Who do we hold accountable for all of this? Everyone, you know, hides away. It's not me. It's not my responsibility. It's not my duty. So that is the same thing we talk about. those who, are in leadership position need to outline this. If you falter, you're going to pay for this. You're going to go in for this. And here in Nigeria, it's one place I see where if people falter or there is an accusation or something has happened, somebody doesn't come out and apologize and resigns honorably. It keeps hold on to the position, and this continues for decades. So it's something that we need to get rid out of our system. It's something we need to unlearn. If you make mistake, or if you make a mistake, own up to the mistake and honorably resign the position. That is it. That's what we see in other climes.
Do you think we can have that kind of mentality here when you make a mistake or when something goes wrong and an administrator honorably resign? Do you think that it's going to be a big miracle for that one?
Of course, it can happen. It can happen when the example is set from the top, then it can happen. Those in leadership position, if they do this on a consistent basis, then those below them will also emulate.
Okay, those below them will also emulate. Let's see, the year 2023 for Nigerian sports has really well, in some aspects, we've had it very good, and while in some other aspects, it has not really been good for us. It was not looking rosy at all. And especially one of the lows that we looked at in the year 2023, the year under review, is Divine Oduduru and Grace Nwokocha being sanctioned by the Athletics Integrity Unit right there for doping offenses. And if you look at it, just today is the last day for us to comply with the WADA rules, the WADA code of doping code. And if we can't meet up, Nigeria may be punished for not meeting up. And these are some of negligence that some of our administrators normally put the athletes through. Well, the good news is that the AFN General Assembly is also going to go down today in the city of Abuja. Let's see how they are going to resolve all of this issue and give us a proper solution to all of this menace that is bedeviling sports in Nigeria. Okay, let's leave that story quickly and go straight to Europe, where there were actions in the English Premier League. And one team, I think they are back to life. That is Everton, after they were deducted 10 points, and they went, they find themselves at the relegation zone. But this time around, back-to-back win for them, and one man, McNeil, has been fantastic. He was the winner over the weekend, and again he started the moves last night against the informed Newcastle. 2 errors were punished, courtesy of Trippier. Those errors were Trippier's error, and they pounced on it. 3-0. For 70-something minutes, that game was still goalless. But from 80-something minutes, I think the goal started coming in. And 3 for Beto. Beto got his first goal for Everton. He scored the last goal against Newcastle United. Everton beating them right there. And then Tottenham Hotspur, their losses continue. The third loss on the bounce against West, though it's a London derby. 2-1, it ended. David Oku. Let's look at Everton Newcastle game. Newcastle defeated Manchester United, and it was everybody went wide. Now they suffered 3-0 bashing in the hand of Everton.
Inside life. Newcastle beat Arsenal, put it that way. Man United beat Everton. Newcastle beat Man United. And now Everton beats...
Inside life happens.
Inside life happens. But it was a resounding victory for the Toffees, though the goals came in late. From, I think, the 79th minute was the first goal. Then Abdoulaye Doucouré, scored the second, punishing mistakes from Newcastle. I think it summarizes Newcastle's season. They've been inconsistent. At this point in time, a Manchester United, which has been said to be in crisis, are above them on the table. So that shows you what has been happening. United has 9 wins and Newcastle has 7. Let's talk about Everton. They've not wallowed in their issues. They've not groaned. They've not moaned. They've decided to take it chin on. They've strived in adversity. And they are doing the goods. 2 wins on the bounce for them, 1 against Nottingham Forest, and now at Goodison Park, where they had their fans, against Newcastle, and informed Newcastle, if you want to put it that way, So, well, it's a good one. Sean Dyche has said to the guys, come, look, we cannot remain here. Yes, there's been a 10-point deduction, but we need to find ourselves up the table. And how do we do this? Is by going out there competing, is by winning games. Even the game they got beat against United, they still created handful of chances. And they ended up losing that by 3-0. But it could have gone either way if Onana didn't make some good saves. They created abundance of chances. I think Everton will remain in the top flight if they continue like this. Over Christmas, we have lots of games and in the new year coming in, so they can use this opportunity to rebuild and get back their form, you know, to make up for what they've lost. Okay, they have to make up for what they've lost. Let's quickly look at the table. Let's just look at the table where Everton is standing. At the table, we have Arsenal at the top, and Tottenham, because they lost, they still remain at the 5th position. Now, let's look at the flip side of the table and see what that win means for Everton. They have now found themselves at the 17th position with 10 points, leaving Luton Town, Burnley, and Sheffield United right there at the bottom of the table. And quickly, before we go, there were actions in Copa del Rey, that is in Spain. Let's look at the result. We had Radina beating Cadiz 2-1, Linares Deportivo 1, Elche 3, Racing Ferrol 1, Leganés 0, Udi Melilla 1, Eibar 1, and Eibar had to win that game on 4-1 on penalties, and Cayon lost to Athletic Bilbao 3-0, Orejuela 2, Girona 5, and Cesas 2, Riva 1, and Celta Vigo 2. And that is where we'll leave it on 360 Sports from Trust TV. Okay, David, thanks for joining me on the show this lovely Friday. Always a pleasure to be here. Always a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. All right, that is it on 360 Sports. I am Emmanuel Fashemi saying thanks for watching.
Present to you the Super Falcons of Nigeria!
She swings it in. Can he connect it on a header? Falls to the legs. Then a shot far from a chance for Nigeria there. It's the first goal of the match. Goal scored by no other than jersey number, of course, 12. Well, the front official has indicated that 2 minutes of additional time will be handed here. But the Super Falcons have a chance to counter. And it's Tony Payne who finds Uchenna Kalu. Uchenna Kalu takes a shot. And it's a goal! Goal number 3 for Nigeria, yeah. Chance for Nigeria, Esther Okoronkwo, and it's a 4th goal for the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Esther finds Imran. Imran takes a cross, and she finds Okoronkwo. It's a goal for Nigeria. Goal number 5.